Hi, I'm Larry London. This is Border Crossings. On today's show, we are joined by one of the biggest boy bands from the 2000s, known as O.T.W.N. The band originally formed on a popular TV show on ABC television called Making the Band and topped the pop charts with their hit All or Nothing. They recently released their fourth album, the O.T.W.N. album, and they will join me to sing some new music and discuss the Pop 2000 tour and reunion. Dan, Eric, Jacob, and Trevor wrote all the songs on the O.T.W.N. album and started a Kickstarter campaign to fund the record, which was supported by their fans, known as Townies. Stick around for O.T.W.N. coming up on today's Border Crossings. Hi, I'm Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings, on tour for a brand new album. It's been a few years. O.T.W.N. are here in Washington, D.C. They have a brand new CD, the O.T.W.N. album, which is album number 4 for the band. We'd like to welcome to Washington and the Voice of America, the guys in O.T.W.N.
Hey. How you doing, man?
Hello.
It's great to have you here. Wow, guys, I watched you, you said 20 years ago on Making the Band on ABC TV?
Coming up on our 20-year anniversary. Yeah.
That's amazing. But you guys, did you know each other before the TV show, or did you just meet at the show?
That was audition process. They found us from different cities around the nation. He auditioned in L.A., I auditioned in L.A., he auditioned in Nashville, and Eric auditioned in Orlando. We all got picked from those cities and then brought together, and that's when we met.
Wait, you just said something today. This is the weekend when they dwindled us down to the top 25 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
25 became 8.
25 became 8. And then
this was the weekend that we all officially met Dan, 20 years ago.
And I hate saying that.
And before American Idol and things like that, it was, Making the Band, which was very popular on ABC TV. And you guys are one of the most popular bands to come out of that show. And certainly that era, which was an era of boy bands. Now, you still get called boy band, I guess. How does that feel now that you guys are not boys anymore? You're men, a men band.
I like it.
You like it?
Oh, yeah. Because we're 40, man. If you want to call us a boy band, I'll take that.
It never made sense, though. It's we're not a band, we're a group. So the name never made sense. It was just a branding, thing that we just sort of, we accept, we appreciate
it's
it now.
the alliteration that sticks, right?
Yeah, it is.
Do you play instruments?
Sure.
We all, a little bit, not on stage. Jacob plays guitar. We used to have an acoustic section on stage.
Yeah, we usually, and I just got tired of flying it around. It's like my guitar. I'm like, guys, we do this section all the time. Maybe we should just put it to bed for a year or two and then bring it back, and it'll be special. And all I did was get rid of one major piece of luggage.
Mm-hmm. Also, the fans want to see us dance.
Yes.
I mean, truthfully. I mean, they're a lot more interested in that than anything else.
And there seems to be, there was a while where the boy band thing kind of lost a little luster, but now there's Korean K-pop bands, BTS and things that are bringing that feel, that vibe, that success back.
Yeah.
And what do you think it is? What do you think that is it because you're good-looking guys, or you do the sexy dance moves? Or is it the singing? What do you think that is the most important part in being a successful boy band?
I think it's the solidarity. Mm-hmm. I think it's the coming together of different guys, different people, different personalities, all coming together to sing and do something collective, and then just changing it up. And I love what they're doing. We always loved the dancing aspect of what we did. We always prided ourselves on being able to dance and sing live without having to lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a great job. They do a really great job, and they really pay homage to where we came from too, like that old MTV TRL era.
It's super flashy and fun
and
colorful and big. Yeah.
The old adage that we always heard was that there will always be boy bands because there's always going to be teenage girls. There's always going to be teenage girls. Right.
So, and you see that today when you're performing, there's probably, you see a different, whole group of teenagers who are still finding you for the first time, or their parents were big fans, and the parents are there as well.
Sure.
So that must be a cool
now
feeling.
Lately. Yeah.
Interesting, like our single "Off," the video. When we were concepting the video, one of the things I really was pressing for production was I want this to have an air of Korean K-pop in it. They wanted the color, wanted the light, to keep it light, and I think we nailed it with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you choreograph your own moves, which is kind of unusual in the business, but you guys obviously must be talented dancers. Was dancing something you did before you came together 20 plus years ago?
I think we all just kind of danced for fun. None of us ever took like any technical training or anything like that. We just all have rhythm, and we all have like our own way of kind of expressing ourselves through dance. So it was like when it comes time to like trying to, we're gonna hire somebody or like kind of just do it with ourselves and kind of mesh what we are together. So it just kind of happened that way.
You get pretty good at things by doing them full time as well, right? We'll fully admit when we first joined the band, we were all pretty green at everything. We weren't very polished as singers or performers or dancers, but when you work 10, 12, sometimes longer hours a day on your craft, you get pretty darn good.
Well, you guys have had a very successful career, and it's great that you're back together again. Would you do a song for us? I mean, we'd like to hear some music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear O.T.W.N. perform.
Yeah,
Be a thrill to.
I think we're going to do
fan.
Over first.
Over, yeah.
All right, let's do it. This is
the
a new one.
new single.
So this is a song
This-
off the O.T.W.N. album, the new album we just dropped. Dan wrote this song. It's an ode to All or Nothing and the ballads we used to sing. The fans really wanted it from us, so yeah, this is it.
All right, O.T.W.N. here on Border Crossings.
You don't see me anymore, like some kind of ghost. I've been sleeping on the floor, I got nowhere to go. Your shoulder was colder than cold. You just let me go, you just let me go, go, go. I'm a glutton for punishment though, coming back for more. So tell me, how did you get so over me, so over me, so fast? Baby, how the hell you over me, so over me like that? Say you never loved me and attempt the memories, forget that you met me. I don't know what else I could do. Tell me how the hell you over me, and I'll get over you. I'm so tangled up in you in so many ways that every time I try to move, I'm frozen in place. What you did was lower than low. I can't let it go, I can't let it go, go, go. I'm a glutton for punishment though, coming back for more. So tell me, how did you get so over me, so over me, so fast? Baby, how the hell you over me, so over me like that? Say you never loved me and attempt the memories, forget that you met me. I don't know what else I could do. Tell me how the hell you over me, and I'll get over you. Ooh, just say that there was nothing there that you take it back. Ooh, I really shouldn't have to ask, don't you owe me that? Ooh, be honest as we fade to black, no. So tell me, how did you get so over me, so over me, so fast? Baby, how the hell you over me, so over me like that? Say you never loved me and attempt the memories, forget that you met me. I don't know what else I could do. Tell me how the hell you over me, and I'll get over you. I'll get over you. Tell me how the hell you over me, and I'll get over you.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. They're standing around the world right now.
Thank you.
100 countries, a standing ovation. You guys sound awesome. The harmonies are still there.
much.
How has the songwriting changed from when you started to now for you guys?
We're not terrible.
We actually get to write
Started
now.
rough.
Really? I mean, they encouraged it before, but now I think we're just more seasoned now. It's like the songs are better.
Yeah, 20 years ago we had a big label telling us really what to do, and they had the deep pockets and had millions of dollars invested in our project and what we look like and what we sound like in the songs we presented. But after coming back, after a 10-year break, it's like, to do this, we were going to do it our way. So we were going to sing songs that meant something to us, that meant something to our fans. You know, that was the only way it was going to work for us, because we needed to stay passionate about it.
And you have your own label, O-Face?
O-Face Records.
O-Face Records. That's
yeah,
awesome.
we've been independent. I mean, we did a crowdfunding Kickstarter campaign.
That's great.
2016, and we got double what we asked for to do an album. So we kind of left it to the fans to say, do you want to hear more music from us, or are we going to fade away? Because we had done, you know, an album and a couple years of touring. And they let us know that they wanted us to do another record. So we took a couple years to do it, because we took it seriously. We wrote all the songs, produced the songs. This was definitely a labor of love, and now they are our record label. So,
and you guys are very hands-on, and perhaps I hear you're also very perfectionists. You kind of really, let's do this again. And when you have so many people to please and satisfy, it makes the process a little longer, a little
It
harder.
helps, like, that we're so different, and, you know, we're perfectionists in our own right, but we see things differently. So to be able to compromise with each other and really value each other's opinion, I think we have a great product. But when we each listen to each other, and then in the end, when we're all four happy with a song, we know that it's crossing more boundaries than just one guy. Like, we are so different that we think it's going to translate to people likewise.
Well, you guys obviously still have what it takes, and I love the song Over, and I'm sure it's going to do very well for you. And the new album is out now. It's available to everybody right now.
O.T.W.N.
The O.T.W.N. So why did you take the O out of the word town?
I'll let Eric take this one, because the song was written. It's actually an acronym, and the song is on the album.
And what does it stand for?
I think essentially we had O.T.W.N. as the branding for a while. We kind of
It started out stylistic. It was like a visual thing. It looked
The
cool,
logo looked
like,
like
you know.
And there was like this sort of like, you know, we're down a member from the original version, so we dropped an O, but we're still O-Town, even though you dropped the O.
Right.
And so we dropped an O out of the name, and we were still O-Town. And then I had a family occurrence happen. There was a death in the family, and I had went to Dan, and I said, I have this idea for a song, and I want to call it On the Way Now, as an acronym for O.T.W.N., On the Way Now. And he had some chords, and he had a song that he had already started producing and working on, and we sort of combined our two ideas together and came up with the song On the Way Now that's on the album.
All right. And the O is for Orlando, I assume? Is that?
Yeah, so one common denominator that we had was we all met in Orlando. Again, being from all over the country, it's really tough to pick a name when there's nothing that you all identify with. And the O-Town project was the nickname of Making the Band before they had the Making the Band name. So we kind of were just vicariously named O-Town through happenstance, I guess. You know, that we didn't have a name, and they needed one like this, and that was the common denominator.
In the papers, they kept calling us the O-Town Project, and when we showed up at our first show, everyone was like chanting O-Town, O-Town. And we looked at each other backstage, and we were like, I guess that's our name.
Which was tough in the beginning, because we're like, none of us are from there. It has, but as you look back on it, it's where we met. So,
and your fans are known as Townies?
that's right.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Townies.
Yeah, it's really good, right?
Townies.
I
yes.
have we
It's a
made
good one.
Townie sweatshirts, these hoodies that are super popular. I love it. I wear it all the time. And every time I see somebody from Boston or somebody from Boston sees me, they're like, "Hey, Townie, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm posing."
Dorchester.
Say
we
Worcester,
have a show in New
Peabody.
Bedford.
Worcester, Randolph, the other side of the tracks.
We have a show in New Bedford this week, so that was on my mind. So it just happened. This guy's like, "Where are you from?" I said, "New Bedford." He goes, "I'm from so and so." I'm like, "I gotta get out of here. Cool,
Do you know Vinny?
I gotta get out of here. I can't fake the accent more than that."
Well, you guys, as I mentioned before we went on the air, you've taken a lot of time in between projects. You know, the first time you guys decided to put it on hold was 2003, and then you came back, I think, in 2014 with an album, and now you're back with another album, which is 5 years later. So why does it take so long? What's been the
Life.
Life
It's
on
life.
the
I
way?
mean, it's like in between when we split up after, you know, in the era of 2003, 2004, we just needed a break. And we didn't really intend to like it turn into like a 10
It was a
decade.
hiatus.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be like a
break up.
It was
Right.
more of a shock that we got back together, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Really?
Yeah, because with that much time going away, like I always say, like when you take a fist, you have these 5 things so close, and then when each one goes out and creates its own, you know, way to bring all that back together is really tough to do.
Yes.
You know, so when we finally got back together and we got a label, and they, you know, put the album together. That was the difference between that album and our next album, was we lost that label, and then we had to figure out how are we gonna do another album. That's when we did the crowdfunding, and so that's why that time in between the two albums now happened.
But we were touring the entire time,
And yeah.
the entire time throughout that. We actually put out a teaser EP before we put out this album, which was closer to 2016. I think we did in 2017, and then sort of just to, wet the whistle for the fans so that we can actually finish the album, and then we put all the songs on collectively on the O.T.W.N. album. So we fragmented it, but essentially we've been touring the entire time.
And you mentioned touring, so the Pop 2000 tour is a tour you've been on, and Lance Bass has been on that tour from
hosting
NSYNC,
it,
and so you just got back from the Philippines, Manila. You guys, they landed just hours ago. They're back.
My arms are so tired.
Your arms are so tired. So that must have been a hoot for you guys to go to the Philippines.
Oh my God, it
and
was so much
perform
fun.
out of the country in a place like the Philippines where they love pop music.
Well, it's
from
crazy.
America.
So we put a lot of work in the early days, the first album, and we got to a lot of these countries, but not all of them. So our album was out in the Philippines, and we never got to do shows. So this first show, we got asked, can you do Shy Girl, or can you do The Painter? And these are songs that we have not performed
Like
in 18 years.
obscure songs from our
Right.
very
From the
first
first
album.
record that we I was like, I don't even
we don't have any dance moves for
I don't even
this,
have
guys.
tracks for these things. So it was fun for us to try and revive the first record, specifically for them, because what's shocking too is they knew all the new songs, but I can't believe it had been 20 years, and this is finally coming to fruition that we can actually touch down and do a show there. And it's crazy that they remembered all these lyrics 20 years later.
So it's been basically touring and writing and getting ready for another album, which is where we are right now with the new album. And so I'm going to ask if you do another song for us. I'd love to hear some more music from O.T.W.N.
Yeah.
We got an up-tempo one that Eric wrote. This one's called Off, and this was the first single that we just released with a music video, and it's one of our favorite songs
It's
on the
perfect
album.
for government radio.
It is. You're going to love this. Trust me.
Look, I pick up some wine on my way coming over. You wanna get high?
Yep.
Break it up, I roll it for you. You heard of the hype, and tonight is the night. You're just the right sign, you're just my type. We can race on, play some Dre songs, put that bass on. Girl, you know I don't care what you're wearing, baby. You're just gonna take it off. I know you think I'm playing, but you're perfect just the way you are. So we should take the night off. Let's turn all the lights off. I'll take all your clothes off. Go until we doze off, then we float off, yeah. Don't care what you're wearing, baby. You're just gonna take it off. I'm coming in hot. Make some waves, I'm on that motion. Join your parts, trace it up and down your torso. You're better on top, triple double on lock. You're just the right size, this could take all night. We can stay home, bump that Dre song. Don't care what you got on, girl, you know I don't care what you're wearing, baby. You're just gonna take it off. I know you think I'm playing, but you're perfect just the way you are. So we should take the night off. Let's turn all the lights off. I'll take all your clothes off. Go until we doze off, then we float off, yeah. Don't care what you're wearing, baby. You're just gonna take it off. Ooh, baby, 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 if it's alright, yeah. Ooh, I just wanna love you all night, yeah. Don't care what you're wearing, baby, you're just gonna take it off. I know you think I'm playing, but you're perfect just the way you are. So we should take the night off. Let's turn
Bath time.
The O.T.W.N. album.
Yes,
It's about
sir.
time, guys. It's about time.
Thank you.
And we're just getting half the show here because you guys bust a move out
We're
there.
trying not to dance, but
No,
we're still
it's, you can't not dance when you're listening to your music. I mean, music like that's great, and
Thanks.
I love your sound. And so the tour is coming to an end, I guess, or is it just getting
It's actually
started?
getting revamped.
The tour never ends.
It never
the tour
ends.
never ends.
It's a never-ending
Going
tour.
into the second year, and we've some of the artists are taking breaks, and some things going their own way. But we've added Mark McGrath to the lineup, and Brad Fischetti from LFO, and they're dear friends of ours. That band, and it's a tragic story. So we're trying to bring him out and revive these songs and let the fans sing these songs live. If you don't know the story, you can look into it. It's tragic, and they're amazing. They go back a long way with us.
LFO guys, yeah.
The LFO guys, yeah. Rich, who passed away years ago from leukemia. Rich Cronin, yeah. His brother was our manager, and they were the reason why we got signed to Clive Davis. So it's great to have him on the tour. The little mashup we did is going to be awesome. And very
Clive Davis
touching.
has discovered so many artists. Whitney Houston, and the list goes on and on.
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, Mariah Carey, and it just goes on.
Aerosmith,
Yeah.
some big ones, Santana,
Some big
you know,
names. Some people. I think he knows what he hears.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously, if he
O.T.W.N.
sounds you guys, O.T.W.N. There you go.
Back to where we were talking about, writing our own music now and how much money was invested back in the day. That was part of it. We were, kids. So, of course, we're not writing all our songs then when you're up against Diane Warren and some of the greatest songwriters of all time. But having that experience taught us how to write a song. Working with all these different producers taught us how we're able to do this nowadays is those lessons. And thank God for Clive Davis.
He encouraged
investing
it.
in us.
Yeah.
He really encouraged us to write. Like that. He didn't stop us from writing. He was just very much a stickler to quality and quality control.
Right.
And so it taught us.
Yeah, even
have that too.
as green as we were, when we would present songs, we would present a song, and then Clive would play one of his songs, and be like, "Yeah, that one's better."
Yeah.
We were smart enough to realize that. Okay, I get it.
And then swallow your pride and go, we're getting songs from Diane Warren. Let's just sing them.
Let's not fight.
Just sing 'em.
Smile and say thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we're talking about names. We're talking about your past. Lou Pearlman is a name from your past as well. Lou Pearlman, who was the guy who was credited with discovering a lot of the acts that came out back in the 90s, that, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and O.T.W.N. and things like that. He signed you, managed you for a part of the time. Not positive things are being written about the way that he handled his acts, and I guess cheated clients out of what I heard was something around $500 million. And I've heard many stories. I heard there's a book which Brian Luttrell of the Backstreet Boys and several other guys had written, and they talk about rehearsing in a heated airplane hanging.
hangar,
Yeah, where you rehearse for 10 hours at a time, no air conditioning, very few breaks, very short breaks to try and make you tough. And so I don't know, what are your stories? What did your
We didn't do
experience
that.
of-
Yeah.
You didn't have to
we
do
had
that.
air conditioning.
We definitely rehearsed for 10 hours. I mean, don't get me wrong. We did that for sure, but we had AC. Yeah.
Yeah,
we were shooting the TV show at the time, so our story's a little different, of course.
We were the last of that era. Like when those guys got started, that was before they ended up, really sort of catapulting into where they ended up going. And we sort of, we're the youngest brother of that family, so we got a chance to really reap the benefits of their success. So when we came into the situation, we had a full on, state-of-the-art studio. We had state-of-the-art practice facility. But it was a boy band boot camp. There's no doubt about it. Like we definitely rehearsed 12 hours a day, morning time, vocals,
I still have vivid memories of them
dance.
like on the golf cart, and the vocal coach would be sitting in the back seat, and we'd be running behind them, and they'd be doing laps in the Florida heat
While you're
and
singing?
we're trying to sing in harmony. Oh yeah, because you got to get ready for an hour and a half of
dancing
and singing and
But
jumping.
It was really good.
It sounds
really good.
brutal,
It really
but it
helped.
really
But it
does
helps.
work.
But
yeah.
on top of all that, if you're an artist trying to get in the business, you do anything and everything
Sure.
to get in. I mean, Lou was obviously a very interesting character, to say the least, and he, his issues with Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and the lawsuits are well documented. We had our issues with him in terms of getting receiving payment.
Right,
but
right.
then even beyond all that, our story is small compared to the retirees he cheated out of their retirements and their IRA funds through this Ponzi scheme, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So
We came off pretty
You
light.
did all right.
Yeah, I mean,
guess
look,
in that
we're a
regard.
band.
We're
We're
20
here
years
now.
old. We can still do what we do.
We're
Yeah.
we're
And-
young.
Who
and
could ask
there's-
for more than that, right?
Right,
To
right.
still be doing what you love doing 25
Yeah, we learned
years
a lot
later.
of hard lessons watching all that go down in early 20s and being in
Must have
business.
scared you
Oh yeah,
to see,
being
oh
in
my
business
gosh.
with somebody like that and to see how he could really just lie to your face and steal the whole time. And when you find out, you're like, man, okay, this world is not what I thought it was. And hard lessons quick, but I think, like you said, we were 22, 23. We could pick up and move on. Where a lot of these people, that was their retirement. So it's a
Right.
tragic story.
And Lance Bass had mentioned that the NSYNC had 3 #1 songs before they saw their first check, and their first check was $10,000.
$10,000.
That's
Right.
it. That's
Right.
all for 3 #1 songs. So
And I mean, a lot of people don't understand what recoup means back then either, because you're traveling around in buses and private
Yes.
jets, and you're like, oh, everything. Look at this life, not
Right.
realizing that that's going on your tab.
yeah,
So there's
Somebody's
a lot
paying
of
for it.
lessons that these young kids
were.
need to be taught when they're getting into the industry that young. Yeah.
There is a weird sort of shared sentiment though across all the bands that there were a lot of nefarious things that he did, but at the end of the day, like we ended up having a career,
Right.
because of him in a
Right.
sense.
Sure,
So
sure.
there was this polarizing sort of feeling that we all kind of share.
right. Mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah,
Yep.
good and bad, which we all have from experience in life. Life teaches us that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not many groups that go on and have their songs covered by other groups or artists. I know in Japan there's a Japanese version of All or Nothing. I know that Westlife has
Yeah.
covered
Yeah.
All or Nothing. So that's kind of
I've even heard
that
a
must be
punk
fun.
version.
A
I can't
punk
remember the
version of
band,
All
but
or
it was
Nothing.
Because I want it all or nothing. We were like, yeah, we should do
Yeah.
that live.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That would blow your fans away.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
The townies would be like, "Whoa, where'd that come
It
from?"
always pops up on it used to pop up on American Idol or The Voice all the time. It's just one of those songs that
State
keeps coming
Farm is
back.
using it on a commercial.
Yeah, that's
now.
right. Yeah, they are.
And I personally, I love the fact that we're like a karaoke staple. Like people.
I've been,
Thank
I've
God
been
for
playing.
that song.
I've been playing in a basketball game every Thursday for like the last 2 years, and I never say like who I am or anything like that. I just kind of play. And like the last time I was playing, this guy came up to me. And he's actually the best guy that's there. He's an Asian dude. He's like, dude, I just found out. He's like, you're in O.T.W.N? He's like, this whole time you've been in O.T.W.N? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, he's like, All or Nothing's my go-to karaoke song out in Koreatown. I'm like, oh. He's like, dude, he's like, we gotta go. I'm like, all right. Now he like gives me the rock and stuff now.
Do you remember where you were when you heard that song on the radio for the first time, or when you were told you're #1?
Oh yeah, I mean it's all documented.
I remember when we were told we were going #1. We were at a huge event for J Records. We were outside. It was in New York. Richard Palmese came up to us and was like, "Hey guys, All or Nothing's gonna be #1 on the radio."
Oh, I do remember that, yeah.
top 40. And we were at some kind of barbecue.
I'm glad
or
he
something.
remembers this.
It was some kind. I don't.
Yeah, no,
obviously
I
it's
do
vague,
remember that,
but
yeah.
I remember we were outside.
It was
and the
Richard
whole
Palmese
label
who
was
told
there.
us.
Palmese was the one that told us. Yeah.
You got the platinum record hanging in your living room.
That was
Sure.
it. Was one of the
Absolutely.
first songs that Clive played for us, and we all knew instantly.
Yeah, he played Liquid Dreams first, and we were like, eh. And then he played All or Nothing. We were like, oh.
He's like that.
You get to sing that?
He
that's
goes,
a-
"You only get to sing this if you sing this," and we're like, "Okay."
And they both worked out kind of well for
Yeah,
you. You guys going to do All or Nothing?
we'd love to.
If you'd like
Oh,
us
that
to.
would be great. All right, O.T.W.N. live here on the Voice of America. O.T.W.N. got chills, got goosebumps. That brings back a lot of memories. I bet the fans go crazy for that song every time.
We love ending the show with
it's
that
awesome.
song. Big sing along.
Every single time. Now, I have to ask you the question because I'm sure people tuning in and watching saying, well, weren't there 5 guys in O.T.W.N? What's, so now there are 4, but where's the 5th? What happened to Ashley?
There was a lot a lot of times that we tried
there
to
was
get
actually another guy, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
a long time ago.
Long time ago. Right.
yeah.
But we were not O.T.W.N. until we got Dan in the band. That's for sure. But since then, yeah, we tried to reunite a few times, talked about it, and it just never was the right timing. I was living in Nashville. Dan was starting a family. The 10-year mark became like, we got to do this or not. And at that point, Ashley was trying to do something else. So we're like, okay, well, we're going to do it with 4, because if we don't do it on the 10-year anniversary, we probably won't do this again. And it's crazy because now we've been together 6 years. The first time we were only together 4. So it feels like a new band. We've really reformed. The music's different. The way we operate's different. So we've been able to
Evolve.
Evolve, exactly. Reform and reignite what is O.T.W.N.
And as you reinvent yourselves, and now you can get some, like I say, a new fan base. You can kind of do things that's to a new audience that haven't heard or seen you before. So that's fantastic. And so what is 2020 going to hold for you guys? I mean, what's the plan? More touring? When
Lots
you
of
crowdfund an
touring.
album, you put out a new album, and things are going, I'm sure, as well as you expected or better.
Yep.
So that means, another album. We got to start thinking about that, too. Keep
Right
this
now it's the
iron
Pop
hot.
2000 tour. That's
Pop
what we're
2000
doing,
tour.
and we have a couple singles that we're going to start. A couple more singles that we're going to promote, and just keep this train going for a little while longer. And as long as the fans will come out to the show, we'll keep on putting out music.
Absolutely. Well, you guys sound great. There'd be no reason to not go out and see O.T.W.N. wherever they're playing. New Year's resolutions, each one of you.
Oh, man.
2020.
On the spot.
Oh, yeah, I
On
got
the
a lot of-
spot.
I haven't thought that far ahead.
That's coming up.
Well, I have a bunch of other projects that I'm trying to see through, and 2020 hopefully that those things start to come to fruition, and there's and be able to balance both of my projects and the band.
Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having
Larry.
us, man.
What a pleasure. I mean, a real treat. And I'm sure the audience around the world love your music, and they're so happy that you got a new album and you're back out there on the road again. So
We're grateful for them.
websites so that people can find you.
Yeah, O.T.W.N. Official, across all socials.com, all that.
Yeah.
Tickets, VIPs, and you can track the tour and see when we're coming to your state and city.
All
At
right,
O.T.W.N.
it's
official.
The O.T.W.N. album.
Yes.
Get it. It's hot. And they are O.T.W.N. here joining us today on Border Crossings. I'm Larry London. Thanks for watching.